Hello, I'm an ENFP guy. I'm going to be analyzing the ESFP female. Why female, you might be asking? Well, it's because I'm vastly more interested in females than I am males. Questions I often ask myself when it comes to the ESFP female concept is, can I get along with them? Does our N versus S in our second letter functions matter at all? And third, could I have a deep relationship with this type of woman, this entertainer of a woman? I don't know much about them, but hopefully at the end of this video, I can learn a lot about them, because I'm eager to learn about them. And I also wonder if I could bed them like a pig in a blanket. Wow, I hope they don't take that in a wrong way. I have an outline of this video. Hopefully it's on screen. If not, then I forgot. I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not too long for people to watch, or me, because I'm gonna try to be watching this in the future. Yeah, let's see how I do. Not expecting too much, but I want to take a risk and try to figure it out on my own. So yeah, let's see how it goes. First and foremost, I'm going to start off with going over what the ESFP is on the 16 Personalities website. You know, there's the A and then the T, standard, extroverted, observant, feeling, and respecting. So they're spontaneous, energetic, and enthusiastic people. They have the ability to mirror the behaviors of those around them. That's quite interesting. They enjoy the simplest things than having fun with a group of friends. Okay, I get that. Extroverts. Knowing what's attractive the moment they see it. They aren't afraid to change their surroundings to reflect their personal style. So they can be adaptable too. They're naturally curious and they explore new designs and styles with ease. Okay. Just trying to think of ways how they might be similar and different towards me. This personality type usually loves a little trauma and passion. Oh man. But not so much when they are the focus of the criticisms it can bring. I'm not really gonna criticize them too much, but I'm gonna try to figure out what the heck they even are. The biggest challenge they face is that they are often focused on immediate pleasures. They neglect the duties and responsibilities that make those luxuries possible. Complex analysis, repetitive tasks, and making statistics to real consequences are not easy activities for people with this personality type. They rather rely on spontaneous opportunities or simply ask for help from their extensive circle of friends. It is important for ESFPs to challenge themselves to keep track of long-term things like their retirement plans or sugar intake. There won't always be someone else around who can help keep an eye on those things. Oh man, okay. And credit cards are especially dangerous. Oh no. So they're basically the type of people that would max out credit cards. Well, if given the opportunity. Nothing makes ESFPs feel quite as unhappy as realizing that they are boxed in by circumstance. You can chat for hours, sometimes about anything but the topic they meant to talk about. Quite chatterboxes. Alright, so let's do the strengths and weaknesses. Alright, their strengths. They're bold. Alright. They're original, they're positive and enthusiastic, they're hands-on and observant. They have excellent people skills. All right, those are all very good traits. They prefer to see and do than to wax philosophical about what ifs. Oh, I kind of like the land of what ifs. With all this focus on the here and now, on doing and acting, it makes sense that ESFP personalities are naturals when it comes to noticing real tangible things and changes. Those are some good positives about them. Some good vibes. Alright, some weaknesses. They're sensitive. Conflict averse. I can be too easily bored. Yep. Poor long-term planners. All these basically could apply to me in one way or another. But anyway, now let's go on to the romantic relationships. This is where I think I'm just going to get a general sense of what a ESFP would find romantic. They reveal most in the stages that involve intense emotions, passion, discovery, and excitement. As a result, they might strive to keep these sparks lit longer than normal by investing in a more flavorful aspects of their relationship. Because of this investment in liveliness and joy, relationships with the ESFP are simply unforgettable, just like that French Montana song. They enjoy physical intimacy immensely. Oh man, loving to share with willing and partners that do the same thing. basically. Conversation with the ESFPs is similar, focusing on fun, sometimes quirky subjects, rather than deep, soul-searching expressions. Oh man. Well, I usually like to do that. I mean, that doesn't mean I can't get weird with one. Then again, they are into physical touch, I think. People with the ESFP personality type happily chat about anything or anyone that comes to mind, but won't have a topic force. Emotionally oriented and sensitive people with the ESFP personality type often respond poorly to outside suggestions on how to manage their love lives. Oh, they respond even worse if criticisms come from their partner, since they are attracted to people who share their attitudes. This can leave them in an echo chamber that only tells them what they want to hear, reinforcing counterproductive behaviors and attitudes. So basically, they could be around a bunch of yes men, which could hinder or stagnate their growth, their personal growth, especially if an ESFP wants to become more emotionally mature. All right, so let's go to the friendships. They are explorers to the pleasures of life. They take particular pleasure in sharing those experiences with others. For ESFPs, there's no point in living if you can't feel alive. You want to do some activities. They want to engage using their senses with the world so that they can have a good time. They use a luring combination of blunt truths, disarming openness, and charm. The trifecta. To be honest, that would probably work on me. Where they falter is keeping up with friends they already have, and their excitement and focus on the here and now over history. They might too easily pursue the next adventure that a person has to offer, forgetting that their older friends seems to have changed and become less fun. Basically, people that can't keep up with them could easily be left behind. As they grow mature, they come to respect different personality types and approaches more and more. They can give the impression that they're shallow, pleasure-eccentric creatures who care little for anyone but themselves. This is a terrible misunderstanding, far from the truth. For all their effort to bring new people in, they extend their incredible sense of loyalty to their existing friends. They are great listeners and often attuned to shifts in mood or behavior, making them adept at offering comfort during difficult times. So they're in the moment, they're caring and adaptable. That is quite appealing. Take a look at that parenthood. They are some of the most relaxed, fun-loving parents out there. First moment they hold onto their babies, they are taken with the joy and wonder that their children experience and everything around. They are constantly devising new and exciting ways to keep their children happy, excited, and engaged. When their children ask questions, the answer is, let's find out. Oh, that's great. It's actually a very good approach to being a parent, well, in my opinion. When their children declare themselves future astronauts, they happily build make-believe spaceships and later use those declarations to help their children focus on their schoolwork and goals. That's pretty cool. And when the dream switches to archaeology, these parents are right there beside them, chisel in hand, knowing that it all leads to the same wondrous path of discovery. Okay, so basically, they'll entertain their kids by helping them out. All right, let's see the career paths. When they are at a party or concert, they reflect that mood, giving them that party people image. So they need a career that focuses on working on others so that they could be happy and productive, and they use their charm to create alliances. Generically, they follow this line: it's not what you know, but who you know. That resonates with them. They are naturally born networkers, flourish in roles that allow them to socialize and foster connection. They're great at event planning, sales representatives, trip planners, and tour guides. They can make brilliant medical professionals, especially EMTs. Oh, that's cool. Paramedics and nurses. They quickly pick up information about others, helping them straight to the heart of the issue and dealing with the sick or injured. Some ESFPs prefer to make others happy and excited by creating beauty instead. Many of them fulfill careers in music, fashion, photography, and interior design. They're renowned for their sense of style. I'm not going to challenge them on their sense of style. I think they most of the time will dress better than I will. Jobs that eliminate human contact and focus on data-driven decisions can be torturous. Some do well enough by blowing off steam with friends after work. And repetitive, uncreative work is also quickly sent to the nope bin. So far, what I'm getting at with the ESFPs is that they're kind of like me, but they're way more in the moment than I am. I don't know, maybe I could learn something from them, from their ability to read people. And they don't really like the theoretical deep what ifs. So, oh man, I feel like I would just have small talk with a ESFP most of the time. Might get me bored of them. Then again, would I get bored of them or would they get bored of me? Which comes first? Well, that's the 16 personalities part. I'm going to look at the cognitive functions a little bit more. Their function stack, which is, of course, SE, FI, TE, NI. That's their primary. And then there's the shadow, which is introverted sensing, extroverted feeling, and then introverted thinking. I already know what the dominant function of SE does. They use their five senses to go on adventures, or it influences them to want to go on adventures. Auxiliary function is this almost the same as mine, I think, where it's about honoring your values and integrity. That's very nice. As you grow and mature, find skill and joy in organizing. Oh, that's what the tertiary function is. Almost forgot how to say it again, dude. I gotta get used to saying that word. Okay, that's the same as mine as well. Goal oriented and aware of objective logic in your decisions. Early life, the tertiary function may seem out of reach to you. It may seem impossible. Develop the tertiary function when you reach your 30s. Okay, that's quite interesting. I guess probably that's why a lot of people actually consider themselves adults when they're in their 30s, maybe because they develop the tertiary function. Finding relief in extroverted thinking. As a result, you tend to seek organization, logic, and efficiency when you are feeling out of control. You may also enjoy the company of TJ personality types more as you get older. The direct, decisive, logical nature of TJs can be a relief and a comfort as you find yourself pulled in many directions. Their inferior function, from what I remember, they use that function to kind of predict immediate events in their lives, because NI is about foreseeing events, which is interesting because I'm primarily a NE user. One of their weaknesses is having difficulty understanding intuitive judging personality types because they see them as unrealistic, out of touch, and removed. One of these intuitive judging types see them as shallow and pleasure seeking and out of touch. That's a little funny. When you both realize that you're seeing two equally important perspectives in life, then you can learn from each other and respect each other. Having inferior NI can mean that you fail to accurately predict where things will lead. You may also leap before you look, make it risky, impulsive decisions at your expense of your future and well-being. During periods of intense or chronic stress, you might slip into the grip of your function. Rather than enjoying life, suddenly see nothing but negative future ahead of you. Can see nothing but darkness and confusion, and as a result, you may detach from the activities you normally enjoy. Okay, so this is the SI. This is what my inferior is. This is part of their shadow, the shadow function stack. When they spend time with ISJs, you might feel like they're being restrictive, condescending, or oppositional. You might think to yourself, why are they limiting my options? Why are they going into so much detail about this? Why do they keep dredging up the past? So it's ISTJs or ISFJs they would have a little bit of conflict with. I'm sure they could probably ask why they do these. Simultaneously, you might experience introverted sensing in a destabilizing way. Oh crap. Could find yourself recalling the past mistakes or traumas, assuming that the same situations will repeat. You might get fixated on the nitty-gritty details of a project that you don't make progress because you can never make every detail perfect. When you find yourself being stubborn or oppositional, you might ask yourself, am I getting too stuck on little details? Am I assuming a past experience will repeat itself? Am I not letting go of a past mistake that I or someone else made? Am I making assumptions about this person based on a previous experience? They can use SI to notice details and discrepancies that other types might not get or fully understand. Okay, so then FE, extroverted feeling for their critical parents. You want to have harmony with others, but not at the expense of your individual values. Or I guess personal values also would. Extroverted feeling focuses on extroverted feeling doesn't really take other people's values and desires into consideration. How they could improve from this is if they use it for good, they could have a stronger need for the needs and values of others, and it could help broaden your views. So it could make them a little bit more open-minded, I think. Right, so their critical parent could show up in interactions with the feeling judging types, value extroverted feeling, being critical or condescending when they're not. Their natural tendency to try to get people on the same page can seem off-putting to their introverted feeling for autonomy, personal freedom. Now the trickster function, which is the demon's third function, is introverted thinking. They don't always like logical principles. Being logical is kind of pointless because ESFPs like learning things. They're driven by their curiosity, which I could relate to. They don't want to work out all the details, why they work, and whether they are logically consistent. So when called upon, it can feel exhausting because it's not their preferred way of processing information. Okay. So the positive side of the TI trickster is could form bonds with people that use TI. Okay, so their demon function tends to fixate on realities and details rather than hypothetical possibilities or abstract connections. The world of the now is the real world to them, rather than the world of someday. They want to be secure on the facts and details of what's happening around them, rather than generate possibilities on things that, as of now, don't exist. Hypothesizing and predicting can feel extremely risky because much of life is changing at a constant pace. How a lack of any could show up. This is going to be interesting for me to read. You may wind up in precarious or difficult situations because you've spent time reading between the lines enough. Because you don't see a hidden meaning or connection, you may fail to see how one of your actions set off a series of other reactions that lead you into a road that you never wanted to be on to begin with. Oh crap, okay. I understand that very well. Where they get lost in conspiracy theories or rabbit trails, destructive thoughts, rather than staying grounded as they naturally are. The any demon sensors are about focusing on what's real, tangible, and provable. You might project demonic any onto other types who use any. You might assume that NP types are scattered, unrealistic, and destructive simply because that's how you feel when you experience any. Okay, so they're not gonna like me because of their any demon. But does that mean I'm not gonna like them because of my SE demon? How the heck am I gonna know who's an ESFP woman in real life? At the moment of your most intense desperation, you might use extroverted intuition adaptively. Or, well, an ESFP would use an extroverted intuition adaptively. When this happens, you might surprisingly visualize a potential solution just in the nick of time. You might creatively work with abstract ideas, seeing a connection between one event or situation and another and developing. Wait, this is a weird sentence. Hold on. Let me highlight it. Okay. To develop a clear insight into the relationship and connections. I think that's supposed to be this and is supposed to be a 2. I think that's what makes sense to me. You may also be able to produce retaliatory attacks on others who are unfairly targeting or shaming you, bringing up connections and inference. Oh my god, so they could basically stand up by like seeing the possibility patterns. Positive side of Damon extroverted intuition. Damon isn't always bad. Once you learn to accept any, give space to his insights, you can explore more possibilities, see more hidden connection, and evaluate future possibilities more accurately. You could also form deeper bonds with NP types. Oh, yeah, hey, like me. Okay, there's definitely a lot more to this. That's the cognitive function stack and demon stack of the ESFP. All right, so now we're going to try to see what the ESFP and their Enneagram types connect with each other. Recognize them as to integrate the Enneagram alongside their MBTI type. I know a little bit about the Enneagram. Definitely not a master at it. I'm eating a pear right now, so I could have a snack while I study up on
No, not ESFP. That's what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, sort of. God. ESFP type 1.
These type 1s have a strong sense to please others. They have a very strong moral compass and inner critic. So they use their FI very well. They have perfectionist tendencies and they feel guilty for enjoying life too much, especially for their preference for sensory experiences. So they make an effort to uphold humanistic principles, but their desire for fun and adventure is conflicting. Interesting. These ESFPs, they're very afraid of disappointing people. They're torn between trying to be good and their desire to be free of such conflicts without feeling guilty about every little pleasure they get. These type 1s might not see themselves as ESFPs, or maybe like if they see the ESFP, they might not like resonate as well as they should. That's actually quite sad when you think about it. All right, so the type 2 for the ESFP Enneagram. All right, so this is a people person. They have a great ability to read people. They have amazing networking skills. These type of ESFPs, the type 2s, they don't dream about adventures. Like they're less willing to go on adventures because they want a stable family life, surrounded by loved ones and filled with beautiful experiences. So they use their SC in a way that connects with other people. Wow. And they are afraid of abandonment. Oh my god, there's a meme page for Enneagram 2s. Now the type 3s of the ESFP. These are charming and warm people. All right. They're admired. They seek the company of people of high social rank. These type of 3s know what they want and they're out to get it. Wow, so these type of ESFPs are more focused and authentic, probably because they know what they want and they go out to seek it, connect with people with a high rank. Yeah, these 3s are very concerned about being admired and achieving social recognition while being afraid of rejection and failure. Yeah, these type 3s are quite interesting. ESFP type 4s. They are most likely to be turbulent ESFPs, and they express their moods in a very dramatic way to seek out attention, are usually afraid that no one will understand them, which will have them over explain and act out whatever they're feeling. However, once they stop seeking out attention just to get attention, they will become deeply compassionate and insightful people. Yeah, they crave attention, understanding, and acceptance, and because of that, they often dream about becoming famous or extraordinary. I kind of feel concerned about type 4s, honestly. The Enneagram type 5 of the ESFP. Just like the 4, these are rare. They are not very sociable. Okay, so because 5s are logical, they will be more observant and analytical. So to relieve their inner tension, these people employ their extensive knowledge and skills typical of type 5, which classes for an ESFP's need for connection. Oh wow, so these types, they might be a little bit more introverted, which would probably confuse an ESFP type 5 from identifying as an ESFP in the first place. I think the only way they would know that they're an ESFP is if they resonate with their cognitive functions. But even then, they tend to not use their sensing function, which is their dominant cognitive function. Now the type 6 on this website, ESFP type 6s. All right. Type 6s are usually the people who prepare for like worst case scenarios, so they need to feel safe and secure. 6s are cautious and never too extroverted, unlike main problem in life is to overcome their fears and trust issues to enjoy life. Okay, security will be the main issue, and it's the biggest desire of these type 6s. They change a lot as they mature though, and their sense of security grows. Right. Because they're extroverted, they'll usually connect with people quite well. Now let's move on to the type 7 of the ESFP, which I'm a type 7, I think. At least that's what I'm sticking with so far. They're charming, witty, open-minded. They are adventurous. Hedonism and curiosity are the ENFP's trademarks. These individuals tend to break the rules without even intending to do so. Just follow their impulses. Nice. They enjoy risky adventures and sports, and they're the most impulsive and chaotic. They have a capacity to cope with
pleasant feelings. They avoid serious relationships, deep conversations. They dream of living exciting lives full of passion, joy, and exciting adventures. But when doing boring everyday things, oh, their excitement extinguishes. I have no idea if I will get along with an ESFP type 7. Enjoy their company too much. Unless they like are healthy and have somewhat overcome their fears, which I think would make them become 5s when they're healthy. Alright, so now we're on the type 8 more ESFPs. So these are more focused and goal-oriented and ambitious. Wow. But unlike 3s, they will not be concerned with image and reputation, as with power. All their intuitive abilities, empathy, understanding of people's needs now serve one goal of having power over life. Whenever I hear about type 8s, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so dominant. Maybe I might be into that in the case of an ESFP woman. Anyway, the reason why these ESFPs are concerned with power is that they usually have some experience of being victimized and manipulated by someone in their early years. Oh crap, okay. Their primary impulse is to control the environment. Jeez, now I just have empathy for them now. Oh jeez, okay. No, it's alright, it's alright. They keep their generosity a kindness. They show a lot of understanding for the underdog and are often deeply concerned with injustice, right? Because of their FI. Let's move on from that. They fear rejection, fear betrayal. They keep their relationships light, and they demand many proofs of loyalty before they can come really close with anyone. All right, and now for the Enneagram Type 9 in conjunction with the ESFP Type 9. Alright, so they are the most prone to people-pleasing behaviors, and their empathy and intuition are exquisite. Whoa. They feel obligated to ensure that harmony is protected in their environment, already put up with a lot of inappropriate behavior from other people in the name of peace, just like typical 9s. Oh my gosh. I remember reading something about 9s where they have limits, though, so they want to preserve peace, go unnoticed. These 9s have a need for peace, and they dream of enjoying a harmonious environment surrounded by people they love. Oh, that's sweet. I like 9s, I think. The only problem with them is their inner rage issues, which, okay, and typical ESFPs are deeply afraid of rejection. So yes, they are most likely to identify with the more extroverted Enneagram types. So common types are 7, 2s, and 3s. Least common are 1s, 4s, and 6s, right? Because they're extremely rare. 1s are extremely rare. 4s, contradict with the easygoing spirit of ESF. And 6s need for security opposes their need for new experiences. In essence, ESFPs are in love with and eager to explore the world with all their senses, make connections, foster relationships, and share their enthusiasm with all the people who come their way, while their life strategy changes depending on which Enneagram type they identify with. Go on to another one. Very quickly, ESFP 1. They're very in touch with their introverted feeling side. Okay, so their inner critic will always judge them of how they failed and how they could do things better. ESFP type 2. Yeah, their need to take care of others comes pretty easily to them. Their calendar is packed with volunteer projects, get-togethers, and social events. Type 3. So these types of ESFPs love to be in the spotlight, and they want to be seen as successful and be admired, driven to succeed, and they will look good while doing it. However, this drive can sometimes lead to burnout, fear of failure. So an unhealthy ESFP type 3 feel like they're on a treadmill, constantly wanting to be successful and worthy, but not knowing who they are. The ESFP type 4s, they have their creative streak using art, music, or performance as a way to express their rich emotions, inner emotions. You're not content with surface level interactions, crave meaning in everything you do, right? So type 5, oh crap. So with ESFPs, at their worst, they will isolate themselves completely, and they will hold on to their inferior introverted intuition. When this happens, they have a feeling of doom and gloom, seeing nothing but negative predictions. This creates a sense of distress and fear inside them. At their best, they use their knowledge around them to make differences in the real world, and they're action-oriented They're wise, curious, and insightful. Let's go to the type 6. They are fun and spontaneous, but they have a plan for, their safety. They will test authorities, trying to see whether they're really authentic and well-intentioned. There's nothing you hate more than people who are untrustworthy or manipulative. At their worst, they will feel absolutely paranoid, frantic and scattered, and plagued with worst-case scenario thinking. Oh, man. And then because they're ESFPs, they have a desire to take action and experience the world. Okay, the 7s. Where others see negatives, they see opportunities waiting to happen in the moment, live their lives with humor, and they have a fun-loving nature, which links up with their dominant SE for their love of action, fun, adventure, and their spontaneity. So at their worst, now this is going to be interesting. Oh crap, they're out of touch with their introverted feeling side, chasing fun and thrill, which means that they lose touch with who they really are and live in a constant state of pleasure seeking that can ultimately lead to unhealthy qualities. The ESFP type 8s, they have a more power to them, which some people find intimidating about them. So they have a fear of being controlled or vulnerable sometimes, and they want to be the one in charge. The ESFP type 9. These type 9s are laid back, they're easygoing, friend that everyone loves to be around. They are lively, fun-loving, but are more focused on keeping the peace, making sure everyone around them is happy. Conflict is not their thing. They're all about harmony, and you'll go with the flow to avoid any unnecessary drama.
Well, let's check out this one, which I think would be
Hello
okay.
friends, today we are going
Okay, hold on. I need to adjust the volume for me.
to be talking about what ESFPs need in relationships. If you have an ESFP in your life, or if you are an ESFP, I hope that you learned something from this video. Obviously, knowing MBTI helps us to understand different cognitive functions that different types use, their needs, and where they get their energy, and what they sort of look for / need in relationships. Obvious disclaimer, this is mostly from my experience as an ESFP myself, though I have noticed it in other ESFPs in my life. Obviously, I'll be talking. Number 1, give ESFPs the space to be able to go out and experience things within reason. ESFPs use extroverted sensing as their first cognitive function, which means that they thrive off going out and collecting, gathering experiences in attend, social hobbies, have their time with their friends, my happiest, my most fulfilled when I'm doing that kind of thing. So ESFPs need to feel free that, and that can just look like support from you. Go have some social time with your friends, or go have this hobby, or like here's a gift of, a red balloon voucher. Don't know if you have that, but like experiences in gifts. Very important. Number 2, make sure that you communicate clearly.
Oh my god,
your boundaries clearly, and they will also, generally speaking,
I didn't even have my mic on
be good at communicating
the whole freaking time.
Clearly. They're not going to be able to guess what your boundaries are, what you're thinking. So I cannot stress this enough. Clear communication.
Wait,
with that.
What did she say? Oh, hold on.
So I cannot stress this enough. Clear communication. I personally am very happy to meet it. Number 3, authenticity.
Oh, hold on. So clear communication is the second. Then third is authenticity. I understand that. How do you say so myself?
A healthy ESFP, with their tertiary function being extroverted thinking,
tertiary,
will not shy away from having conflict, and they might actually be good at having conflict. Also, as an ESFP,
I had to learn how to say that.
Being real with someone, trying to be real with them, being open and clear with communication, showing them yourself, and then finding out that that person hasn't done the same back to you, or hasn't been real with you, hasn't communicated with you, because we're not going to we're not going to be able to read between the lines, and then it's kind of like, that was being real, why couldn't you be real? Remember that our second function, which is introverted feeling, values presenting our most authentic and real self to the world. I mean, I do consider myself to have a very intense and complicated interior life, but even so. Number 4, make plans into reality. That's right, plans. I'm talking to you, NFs. We don't get much from just discussing ideas for the sake of it. We'll need them to actually be actualized somehow, like brought into the real tangible world. Try not to use real world when referring to the tangible world, but that's the real world to me, so bringing them into the tangible world. This can be,
I get what
in
you're
terms
saying.
Of, for
go
instance, hiking, but we'll need them to be grounded in tangible, examples, like practical, tangible examples, in order to understand what you're trying to say, or like get on board, or really like run with the conversation. Number 5, independence. ESFPs need to feel free to follow their heart's desires and their goals and their impulses, of course, within reason, as always. Remember that with Extroverted sensing being our first cognitive function, we like thirst for the new and exciting. We love to improvise. We love spontaneity. If we don't feel free to be... Number 6 is empathy.
Empathy.
That's right, ESFPs
Nice.
are feelers, which means that we do need those FQs and check-ins. We've got our
Hell
feeling
yeah,
function
man.
second. We can absolutely go into the T territory. Number 7 is spontaneity and adventure, and this goes hand in hand with what I... It's also a good idea not to overplan things with ESFPs, because in true EP fashion, we like to know that we have that wiggle room. Even if we're not going to use it, we like to know that it's there. We like to know that we have the option. By the way, if you're wondering what this says, it says Sob Rock, which is John Mayer's new album, and it is an absolute banger. An ESFP
Should I listen
in your
to that
life
or
as
me?
your periods of time.
I get
So that independence we
used
talked
to
about before
periods
is going to
without
apply to...
contact. Okay, hold on. So this is actually quite interesting. Hopefully I could get to know her better through this video.
Going to be preoccupied with what is immediately in front of us in our tangible world. So if it's not you, you probably won't be hearing from us. That's why we kind of suck at like replying to long messages, and we'll like leave you on red if you send us like an essay. It's like we just want to answer the message quick and then get back to what we're doing in our real world. So if you number 9 is humor. In my experience, ESFPs do not like to take life too... They do have a serious side, but I mean, for instance, my day-to-day norm is banter. Like 95% of my day is banter.
I get
and
that.
then there's the P, hoping that they're going to
explained this pretty well to me.
Also, pro tip in general, not a good idea to go into any relationship hoping that the person's going to change. And number 10, and the last thing that I'll talk about, and yes, their experiences don't necessarily define who they are. So if they share their stories with you, what they're looking for is attentiveness, compassion, understanding, and no judgment, ideally.
I gotta write that down just in case. Attentiveness, passion, some understanding. Anyway, no judgment. I won't judge. It's easier to say that than to actually do it. So let's continue.
Yes, I'm talking to you, you SI users out there. Just kidding.
Oh, I'm
it's
not.
only SIs who are judgmental. We kind of need to be experiencing things in the world, kind of like testing things out in the same way that ENTPs and ENFPs need to be like testing out ideas, gathering and exploring ideas to work that out. And with NE, it's going to be about ideas, abstracts, possibilities. With SE, it's experiences. Make sure you're meeting that with that open-mindedness, that compassion, and that understanding. I know it's easier said than done, but just trying to offer you some perspective here on what it's like as an SE user. I didn't know who I was at 21. I do know who I am at 29. Please feel free, as usual, to leave your experiences with ESFPs or in ESFP relationships down in the comments. That includes if you are an ESFP.
All right. Well, I like that video. I like it. I like it a lot. Wow, she's gonna talk about extroverted sensing. I should probably check that video out on my own though. I'm just gonna like the video. I learned a lot. I feel like I should comment. I already forgot what she even asked. Don't really have much to add, so I'm just gonna comment a generic thing. We're trucking along, hopefully, at least someday. Well, till the next one, we are back again to see about ESFP and ENFP compatibility, see how long we get along, and of course we're back on one of my favorite websites, True to T. I guess it's not exactly my favorite, it's just one of the first results that came up. But anyway, we're gonna get to it. As a sensing perceiver type, their approach is straightforward. They're looking for connections with people that are up for adventures. They tend to gravitate towards people with a similar background, but they accept people with all walks of life. They value relationships with people that have the same hobbies and interests and a can-do approach to life. Okay, so I think I could probably get along with them on a theoretical sense. So intuitive feelers want to go deep, revealing yourself to them as a worthwhile endeavor. Once they feel they know you, they'll be a tireless cheerleader for your dreams and ambitions. Alright, that tracks. At first glance, it would seem that they have nothing in common, and in fact, we would have different ways of seeing the world and thinking about things. So I would probably have nothing to talk to an ESFP about unless I have a shared interest. Okay, so what might draw us together is differences mean that we have a lot to offer to one another. I would probably help inspire an ESFP to slow down and think more deeply about the meaning of things rather than doing what feels right in the moment. In turn, an ESFP would help me get out of my head and enjoy life for what it is. Alright, makes sense to me. Okay, so common problems that could arise is that there's no such thing as a perfectly compatible pair. Personality typing, alright. understand that. Overall communication with me and an ESFP, we do have a different style of communication. So we would have to communicate in a straightforward, concrete way, focusing on facts, details, history, and real life experiences. While it may sound like you are speaking different languages, the truth is that although you have different comfort zones when it comes to communication, you were able to get out of those comfort zones. We are both eager to talk about things. This could make for lively discussions. It could be frustrating because you may end up competing for the floor. Oh, jeez. Oh, we should both focus on being good listeners as well as sharing our own thoughts. So listen and share thoughts. This is something that you can work together on, and it's a worthy task as developing your listening skills. So we would have to try to appreciate and overcome our differences if we have different values that we hold dear. We both enjoy jobs that allow us to help people, whether it be social services, healthcare, education. Volunteering is important for us. Where you differ is how your values are directed. So we just have to try to appreciate each other for who we are. So yeah, I would tend to ignore tradition, and ESFPs might not like that. I guess it depends on who the ESFP is. In fact, your calendars may be dangerously overbooked, as neither of you is likely to turn down opportunity. Oh, actually, that might not apply to me that much anymore, because I learned recently that I should try to not overbook my schedule and have some time for self-reflection or introspection. If you share space, it's likely that neither of you will be motivated to take on household responsibilities. Oh, that's a big yikes. Oh, man. Prefer to play first and then work later. Oh, man. And there may need to be some discussion about getting the chores done. I mean, I guess... Oh, crap. ESFPs are more practical than I am. I would feel bad if ESFP would take charge more than I would. Okay, so that's what Trudity has to say about my compatibility with ESFPs. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. So I'm on So Synced. Oh, wow. Okay, so a store, my relationships. So I get a personality type report. I get a compatibility report. Oh, read blogs. ENTJ boyfriend user manual. The ENTJ girlfriend. Oh, okay. Let me put my type. So my personality type, ESFP. Calculate 50%. Basically means we don't know. Kind of like the weather. How the weather says 50% chance of rain. But anyway, let's go back to the compatibility article. Like, oh, it gives her type, INFP. She's a Taurus. She's a 7 wing 8. I know what that means. I know. So this is an INFP's take on this relationship compatibility. So it's 50% according to this website. So some challenges. All right, cool. You aren't always on the same wavelength, which can make it challenging to communicate with each other on certain situations or during certain situations. Oh, they would benefit having more structure in their lives because it doesn't happen naturally for them. Okay, interesting. I guess we're not exactly the most organized people. ESFPs take things day to day while I take things kind of day to day, but I have somewhat of a future planned for myself. So our compatibility style is unique. They aren't the most natural fit for a relationship, but it could be exciting and rewarding if they are mindful and we know how to approach it. Okay, so wait, this says ISFPs. This is ESFP. What? Is that a typo? Okay, I'm gonna pretend that I is actually an E. ENFPs are more abstract in the way they approach life, while ESFPs are more pragmatic. Okay, that makes sense with what I know so far about them. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to build a connection. I'm not gonna... I guess it's unrealistic of me to expect that if I see an ESFP woman, I'll be like, oh my god, I have a connection with her. I think it would probably have to take some time. I have to, actually interact with her, which I guess that's technically what I should do with anyone, really. So we both prefer to resolve a situation by talking things through, then and there. Challenging compatibility requires both parties to be self-aware and understanding
of each other to make it work. So there might be an ESFP female guide. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find that. Man, there's a lot of these blogs. Oh, ESFP girlfriend. Congratulations, you found yourself an ESFP girlfriend. Oh, right, yeah. Me, guide through the ups and downs, fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a wild ride. You'll never quite know what will happen next. But that's all part of the fun. This type of girlfriend knows how to keep the party going, could charm anyone with her outgoing, friendly nature, natural charisma and energy that draws people in. The 9 characteristics, here they are. Batteries are not required for the ESFP girlfriend. She is naturally full of energy and is always on the go. All right, cool. It's good to know. She is a yes person who will always up for trying something new. May come across as outgoing and confident, but she's very in tune to her emotions. She'd be easily hurt by criticism or negative comments. These women are known for their warmth and friendliness. They have a natural charm that draws people toward them. What the ESFP girlfriend looks for in a relationship. These women tend to be very physical beings, so physical attraction is awfully a high priority for them. If they don't feel a physical connection, they can struggle to stay invested in a relationship. These women often appreciate a growing presence in their life and need to know that they can rely on their partner. They want loyalty, and they also need to be free. She doesn't want to feel tied down or restricted, but she can also need quite a lot of reassurance. So they need gestures like hugs, kisses, and cuddles will be important for her to make her feel appreciated. I think that those are all pretty doable and understandable. Benefits of having an ESFP girlfriend. Okay, she is fun to be around. In my case, she'll make my life more fun by taking me on adventures in the outside world instead of me being in my head thinking about theoretical aspects of life. Playful energy, like playful banter. Okay, cool. It is quite appealing for ESFPs to do. All right, so the cheat codes are to embrace the present moment, to stay engaged in the present moment with her, give her a certain amount of validation and reassurance. You go a long way in making her feel loved and appreciated. Don't go overboard, but keep it authentic. Okay, so balance adventure with stability. They like to have a lot of fun and try new things, but they also appreciate a sense of stability and consistency in a relationship. So remember what makes her feel loved. Physical affection is a love language for ESFP women. They generally appreciate words of affirmation. So telling her how much you love and appreciate her can go a long way. Okay, so take an interest in her passions. So taking an interest in her interests and supporting her can make her feel loved and understood. Honestly, I think that's like the easiest one I could do out of all these. I mean, so far, because I guess I'm a curious person. Be mindful of how you phrase things. Remember that ESFPs can be sensitive to criticism, so try to phrase things in a kind and constructive manner. Finding a balance between empathy and honesty is crucial. Last but not least, it's important to accept your ESFP girlfriend for who she is. She may have been told in the past that she's a lot to handle or too intense, but it's important that you don't try to change her. After all, her vibrant energy is what makes her special. Aww. Show her that you love her. Oh, I could explore 9 signs that she's in love with me. I mean, for this video, I probably wouldn't, but I'll check that out. Well, if I ever even get that far with an ESFP woman. Learned a lot from this manual. Alright, let's go on to the next thing. Oh boy. So, to wrap up my thoughts on this ESFP woman concept, I'm gonna have to say a lot of, I gotta sort out my information that I have. It's quite a lot. I have to be able to give them gifts. I need to have clear communication with them. Gotta make plans in the real world with them. Gotta respect their independence. Expect some periods where they won't contact me, which, I kind of do that as well. Gotta appreciate her SE. So conceptually, I have SE demon, and then she has an E demon. So we would both have to recognize that our demons should not influence our decisions when it comes to each other, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, right? So I have to listen to her, which I think throughout this video I haven't really been doing that much of a good job. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's what I got so far with this, I guess, analysis. Yeah. So some advice I would like to give myself when it comes to trying to get along with them is try not to see them as shallow and try to humor them when they want to go on adventures. And that's regardless of whether they're women or men. I think I would probably get along more well with a woman than a male ESFP, but I think I could get along with the male ESFP just fine. It's just I think in order to like stay in contact and like go deeper with an ESFP, I have to like have some interest with them, which I think I could take a lot of interest in what ESFPs are about, but I still don't really know too much about what they usually like to do because it could be quite random. Though I think I'm a little hypocritical in saying that since I'm quite random too. Yeah, I can't really judge them for that. So for ESFPs that are looking for growth, I think, yeah, they need to challenge themselves on being alone for long periods of time, kind of like how what I'm doing right now. Although you obviously still need some contact with people, and you need to be able to identify what strategies you need to become more of a thinker, which is their third function, which I like and I could relate to not overly predict the future, especially because of their inferior NI, which is quite the interesting cognitive function, but they need to be able to not believe in conspiracy theories. That's something that I've been like kind of looking for solutions to, which I have no idea because the information that's out there is a little weird. I'm not really sure what I should believe in. I'm trying to stick to objective news and policies, and you know, but they want to gather information from as many people as they possibly can, which I can relate to too. So I tell them that, and yet I should probably take my own advice on that. Yeah, it's quite interesting, this concept of a woman, the ESFP, especially when it comes to their Enneagram types, which most of them are going to be 3s and 7s, and I forgot the other one. I think it was a 4 or something. I learned a lot. I definitely should probably do more of these if I can get around to it. Those are my final thoughts on them. Oh, right. Some songs I would like to recommend them. When I think about ESFPs, some songs I would recommend for them are The Angel of My Dreams by JADE, and then, of course, Unforgettable by French Montana. I like that song. And what I realized is that I think Katy Perry is a ESFP. So, I'm kind of a big fan of Katy Perry, and she has some good bangers, especially Firework. It's a good one. I like that one. So, some good old songs to recommend. I'm going to be listening to some Katy Perry. You better believe it. I love Katy Perry. It's weird to say that out loud. Okay. Anyway, until next time, we're hopefully I will do the ESTP. ESTP. Yes, that one. All right. So yeah, that's all I got. Bye. Bye me, or whoever's watching this. Leave this to the professional.